All right, welcome back. Still talking about routes, controllers, and views. Um, RESTful design is absolutely a good thing. All right, there's no reason we wouldn't want to build a properly RESTful web app. We would really like to follow the basic principles of RESTful design. I'll talk more about them later in the course, I believe, as long as we have time. But when we look at the resource routes, that is our basic template to follow. Okay, so we're largely going to build our websites around the idea that we have a collection of resources. So we're going to have, books. That's a resource. Authors. That's a resource. Maybe reading lists. That's a resource. And we're going to have routes for all of those things based upon the standard resource routes that we would have or what we've looked at before. And we'll just follow that, and we'll naturally end up with a very nice, RESTful design. We can modify it in certain ways. We can add confirmation pages for deletes. We can, if we need to, do some functionality that we're just like, I'm not quite sure how to put this in a good RESTful design. I'm not sure if it's a resource. I think you need to, at that stage, you need to take a step back and relax and don't get too caught up in, is it RESTful or not? I think you need to remember that the routing that you're doing is all about just basically saying, yeah, I want to set up something. I want to define a way that if we do a get, a post, a patch, or delete, and I'm going to specify which one of those it is, along with a path for my website, I'm basically saying I want to package that together and call some code in my app. I want to do this, and I want to, when the user requests this, when they do get with this path, I want some code to run, and I want to display this on the web page. You can just eventually say, I don't know if it's a resource, or I don't need to have, all sort, I'm just going to do it. And just do it, just remember that it's a way for you to define, someone at the web browser can make a request, and then I get to run some code, and I get to produce output and send it back to them. That's the big thing to keep in mind behind these routes. Yes, do a good RESTful design. Build your website largely out of resources, and the RESTful design is largely going to follow. But the core idea is I've got some path, and I'm going to do a get, or I'm going to do a post, and I want to run some code, and the routes are your ways to connect that together. It's it's your connector, your Lego set, whatever it is. It's your way to do that, and the routes let you say, yeah, I want this code to run for this type of request. That's all you're really doing. So yeah, if in doubt, get it built somehow. Don't wait forever to find out what your perfect design is. Sure, you could ask for feedback and all sorts of things, and it is good to put up front time and effort in design work, okay? But sometimes it's just push comes to shove and go build it, and when you do build it, that's likely to be the point in time where you go, oh, now I see, that's not quite the way it should have been. I should have done it like this, or I should have done it like that. Now I built it and it works, but I can now see it's not really a great design. Well, you'll need to come back to that at some point and probably improve the design so that you can build upon it, do other things. But for now, you got it to work. It's like, whew, it's working. It's not the prettiest thing. It's not the best design way to do it, but I got it to work. And that, getting things to work is the most valuable thing. Yes, if your design prevents you from getting things to work, that is the worst design possible. But if your design is good enough that you got it to work, excellent. You've made progress in this world, and that's what really matters. You can always go back and work to revise and make a better design. And this really is what we often do with our design work in engineering is we try to use principles and we try to have it work and we try to do lots of things before we invest our effort into building something that we've got a good design. But eventually we're going to have to build. And then we build and then we go, I see now how I could have done it better. Or we're using this system now. It's obvious what the deficiencies in my design are. All right, so be prepared to go back and revise your work. You might not have time in a course like this to go back and revise your work. You got it done, you turned it in, it's good. But in the real world, you're probably going to, if you're going to keep using these systems, eventually you're going to need to pay this technical debt. So when we have these issues where, oh, we got it to work, but it's not really the way we really want it to be, that's called technical debt. You owe your application, your engineering, some additional work. You've basically maybe hacked it a little bit too much, or you know it's not right. So that technical debt has to be dealt with. Otherwise, continuing to grow your app is likely to be problematic because there are flaws in it, and it's hard to grow good things out of things that are flawed. All right.